And in this video, we're going to continue our conversation that we had in part 16. We're going to continue to refine our air conditioning schematic as we move into part 17. Now, when you look at the schematic that I have on the screen right now, you'll notice that it's what we call a package unit. Everything is in one compartment, basically. Okay, we have one power supply, we have a control voltage side, and we have a line voltage side. Now, that would be something you would find either in a single unit mounted, for example, in a hotel room, those little PTAC units that you find in the hotel rooms, or what's considered a package unit, which would be a commercial rooftop unit, or even a residential package unit that you find sometimes mounted on the ground next to pre-manufactured housing like mobile homes and so on. So the problem is that the majority of the systems you find in residential and light commercial are considered split systems. The indoor unit, which is the air handler, and the outdoor unit, the condenser, are in actually two different spots, and they are not connected by anything except low voltage. So when we look at this diagram, this schematic does not apply to that type of system. So we need to go ahead and fix our schematic to make it apply to a split system. So the first thing we're going to do is we have to split off the transformer and all of our low voltage components into a separate unit. We're also going to move the indoor fan. Okay, but we'll get to that in a minute. So what I want to do is I'm going to come down here, okay, and I'm going to take this entire component, okay, and I'm going to shift it down. Basically, actually, that isn't, let me just push that back. Okay, because what I want to do, okay, I'm going to cut that out, and I'm going to put it on its own separate page. Okay, so now when I look at this, we'll look at it side to side. I now have my I now have two units, okay, and I just have to make some minor corrections. We're going to come over here because I want to make sure that I have enough to tie my transformer and everything into. Okay, so now I have my outdoor portion and I have what's the starting of my indoor. Okay, I'm going to do two other things. I still have to have my switching. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy that because that just makes sense to copy. And I'm going to come over here. Actually, no, yeah, we'll just copy this too. Okay. The other thing I want to do is I'm going to move my indoor fan motor because my indoor fan motor can't, and my heat relays aren't outside. Okay, so I'm going to take this entire thing. Well, I don't want my compressor, so I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to move that over there. So basically what I've done at this point, I've split off all my indoor components from my outdoor components. Okay, and I just need to label, I'm going to label that heat relay over here real quick. Okay, now we have three components down here. I have my LPS, my HPS, and my C1. Now, these components are always mounted in the outside unit. So they cannot be on my indoor schematic, okay, because they're actually out here. They're the only low voltage components that I have on my outdoor unit. Okay, so I'm going to just shorten my lines there because there's really no sense in them being that long. Okay, and I am going to put a label on here just for my indoor, and you know what? We're going to use a, let's just use 120 volts indoor. This is a 120 volt air handler, and I'm just going to label it air handler. Doesn't matter exactly what it is, but we're going to label it air handler. I'm going to fix my okay, so we know that that's, I'm going to put a switch on this. Now, we're just going to neaten that up a little. Okay, so these three components have to be moved. Okay, and I'm just gonna, sometimes with PDF Expert, which is the tool that I use, you can actually grab wrong labels and stuff if you get too close to other components. So okay, I have a line missing. We'll put that back. I'm going to just paste that over there on that page, maybe. Okay, I'm going to go back to my single page view. I'm going to paste it over here. Much better. Okay, I'm going to put that line back to where it belongs. Okay, so now when we look at this schematic, if I look at both pages next to each other again, okay, we will see that I have my compressor, my condenser fan motor, I have my air handler material over here, I have a Y that's not connected to anything. Now that's a problem. So what we have to do is I have to create, okay, almost a dotted line, because we need to show field wiring. Okay, and we show field wiring by using a dotted line. Okay. On both sides. And then all I do is I put a tag in here that says to outside. Okay, and then I'm also going to put a tag over here that says from outdoor C. Okay, different manufacturers do it different ways. Okay, this is how I'm going to do it for these schematics. And then we'll also put a tag over here that says from indoor. And we'll say to okay, so now when we look at this, okay, I'm going to get rid of that menu over there. Okay, when we look at this, I now have an outdoor unit that's 240 volts. I now have an indoor unit that's 120 volts. It's an air handler. My thermostat is 24 volts. And my outdoor unit has the 24 volt components that are connected to the line voltage or the control voltage inside. So when we look at this here, I only have 2 low voltage wires connecting my indoor air handler to my outdoor condenser electronically. Okay, that's how the units connect in on a basic air conditioning unit. So where are we going to go from here? We're going to continue to add some additional components and operating controls. We have one more use for the pressure switch we want to do. And then we're going to start a little bit getting into the realm of the heat pumps and some of the control circuits for heat pumps.